Welcome to the Hotelligence Podcast, your strategic vantage point on the changing landscape of hotel safety. Hosted by Jim Kortz, a retired FBI DHS investigator, and Don Carr, a former frontline security owner-operator with years of first-hand incident response experience on hotel properties. Every episode brings you closer to understanding the full picture and what the future may hold. Let's begin.
Welcome back to the Hotelligence Podcast, Episode 12, The Business Center Blind Spot. During the years I worked around hotel operations and on-site security, there was one space that consistently flew under the radar. Not because it looked dangerous, but because it looked unimportant.
And I'm Jim, a retired federal law enforcement officer. So today we're talking about one of the least examined environments in hospitality operations.
The business center.
Yeah, a small room, public computers, a printer, usually quiet and usually ignored.
And structurally, one of the least controlled spaces in the building.
So let's first talk about why the business center feels low risk. Well, one is they're designed to be convenient with open access, minimal friction, and no supervision.
And from an operational perspective, they're treated as passive amenities, something that just exists in the background.
And I think that perception matters because risk often hides in places that don't demand attention.
Especially when technology and anonymity intersect. So let's talk about public computing without identity, because most hotel centers operate without authentication.
No login tied to a room, no user identity, no usage record that connects activity to a guest.
And that isn't a mistake, it's intentional. Guests expect frictionless access.
But frictionless access also means the activity itself is disconnected from any accountability. So digital activity is harder to observe than physical activity. Hotels are accustomed to observing physical space, such as lobbies, hallways, and entrances.
And digital activity is different. Something sitting quietly at a computer does not register as unusual.
Right. There's no visible disturbance, no noise complaint, no clear trigger.
So activity in the business center tends to exist outside normal operational awareness. Shared systems create shared risk, and many business center computers are shared across hundreds or thousands of users.
Operating systems may be outdated, softwares may be inconsistently patched, security settings are often minimal.
That doesn't make them unsafe by intent.
Right, it means they weren't designed with evolving digital misuse in mind. So now let's talk about staff aren't positioned to interpret digital risk. So front desk and operations teams are trained to manage guest experience and physical issues.
They're not trained to evaluate what's happening on a public computer screen.
Even when something feels off, staff rarely have clear thresholds for action.
And without thresholds, non-intervention becomes the default. So why activity remains isolated is another challenge. Isolation. Business center activity doesn't naturally connect to other observations.
There's no reporting structure that captures what happened digitally.
No incident report unless something physical occurs.
So activity remains compartmentalized, seen by no one, documented nowhere. So the risk is structural, not behavioral. And it's important to be precise because the risk isn't about who uses the business center.
It's about how the space is designed.
Right. It's designed with open access, shared systems, limited oversight, and minimal logging.
Those characteristics create exposure regardless of intent. And why this space matters in the bigger picture? Well, the business center is a small space, but it illustrates a larger issue.
Risk doesn't always appear where attention is focused.
It appears where systems assume neutrality without visibility.
And without a place for observations to connect, risk remains invisible.
So in closing, the business center blind spot isn't about negligence.
It's about environments evolving faster than the systems designed to manage them.
In the next episode, we'll step back and talk about what happens when observations finally do connect,
where patterns actually emerge, and why hospitality has struggled to give those patterns a safe place to live.
And remember, we're in this together.
And together, we make hospitality stronger.
We publish a short, written insider briefing alongside each episode. It goes out on Wednesdays when the episode drops. If that's useful, the link is in the show notes.
Thank you for joining the Hotelligence Podcast, where experience informs smarter, safer hotel operations and prepares you for what comes next. Stay informed, stay confident, and stay connected. As the conversation evolves, Jim Cords and Don Carr will highlight developments that help hotels strengthen their approach to safety and risk management. See you next episode.